Hello everyone, Dithron here. I just wanted to show you a few aspects of the engine that I'm releasing on the Daily Click, just to help explain some of the features and how you might use them if you wanted to. This engine uses the platform movement object. As most of you who are familiar with Multimedia Fusion will know, the standard platform engine is quite buggy. So ClickTeam was nice enough to provide us with an extension that is a lot more solid in terms of collision detection and movement and other things as well. So first of all, any background that you want to be a platform or an obstacle, just set it to being an obstacle in the properties, the same as you would if you were using the built-in platform engine. Next we have jump through platforms. Basically, if you take any active object and set it to be group 0, it'll act as a jump through platform. Now one thing you have to watch out for is that the space in between your player detector and the next platform, if you have it set up like this, that there's a bit of clearance, because if the player detector is overlapping two jump through platforms at once, he'll just fall straight through. I don't know why that is. I haven't been able to fix it. So when I was making this, I had to remember to leave a little clearance between each step of the platform stairs. And this is the fall through stairs. This is an idea I got from Castlevania. Basically, if you just walk past them normally, you'll just walk straight through them. But if you hold up while you're walking past, you'll walk up them. If you just set any active object to group 2, then that active object will work that way. Now this is something that I wanted to do for ages, and which the layer system made a lot easier. So basically this level has two layers. This is the top layer, and then you have sort of the inside layer. So I've got 3 inside areas. So this is the second story building that you come into later, and then there's a cave down here. This takes up a couple of groups. First of all, you've got this is an active object, and it essentially works like a background. You set it to group 5, and then what happens is when you move into the second layer, it makes anything that's set to group 5 invisible. This might be useful also, for instance, if I wanted to, I could have made these platforms, I could have made them active objects and set them to group 5 so that they would disappear when you're inside also. Because if you actually play the game, they don't. And the other part is the doors. There's 2 kinds of doors, indoors and outdoors. So if you're overlapping a door that is group 3, so if you make an active object group 3, then when they push up on it, that will take them to the second layer. And this is, if you set an active object to group 4, then that will take you back to the first layer. Now, it doesn't have to be a door. You can make it a teleporter or something, whatever you want. So if you want to lock a door, there's this little key icon thing I made. Basically what happens is you put the key over the door, and then at the beginning of the level it'll detect that and set the locked property to on, and the key object thing will be destroyed. So this way you don't have to make separate objects for doors that are open or doors that are locked. In the demo level, the key's down in the cave. I've got it working so that you could have multiple locked doors if you wanted to. But they would all take the same key, but you could also collect multiple keys. Also, making different kinds of keys shouldn't be too hard. Moving platforms. This probably took me the longest to do. Basically, all you need to do is take an active object and set it to group 1. That makes it a moving platform. And then Group 0, if you remember, that's a jump-through platform. So it's both a... So the Group 1 only makes it move around how it's supposed to. And then Group 0 makes it a jump-through platform so that you can... so that your player can stand on it, basically. You can also make it Group 7, which is a non-jump-through platform, like a solid platform. If you don't want people to be able to jump through the movable platforms. As you can see here, I've got these directional arrows. What happens is when the platform hits one of these directional arrows, it changes direction. And so I can make the platform move on a path, like I can make it go on a zigzag. Right here I've got it set up in a sort of square. Most of the other places they just go from side to side though. But I just wanted to show you that that can be done. Lastly, we have this little suspension bridge effect. Basically, this is just a row of platforms that will lower themselves down when the player stands on top of them. They're not linked in the code in any way, I just duplicated them. What happens is, when the player detector and the two bridge building objects that are beside it are overlapping the bridge pieces, they move down until they hit alterable value A of all three of their objects. Now the player sprite I've got set to 12, and the two detectors on either side are set to 6, and so we get a nice bend. So if you wanted to change how much the bridge bends, if you wanted the player to be lighter or heavier or whatever, you could change that pretty easily. Oh, one last thing. To create water that you can swim in, basically just take any active object and set it to group 6. So whenever your player is overlapping an active object that's group 6, the water physics, I use that term very loosely, take effect. So those are the basic features of my engine that are really important. When I set about making this, my main goal was to be able to put in features that would make the levels themselves more dynamic. And that's why one of the things that I really wanted to get right were the moving platforms. I think I did an okay job. So if anyone would like to use this for their own game, please give me a credit saying that I helped with the engine. For those of you who are waiting for my Tex Murphy playthrough, I'm really sorry. There's been a lot of real life stuff getting in my way. I hope it'll be done soon so I can get up more videos. So please just be patient. I'm going as fast as I can. Thanks very much. I will see you all later.